but what happens in between getting point A to point B is kind of entirely up to us. And we'll sit in the trailer before we go out and kind of work with stuff like, okay, what's some funny things that we can talk about? What's this, and we figure it out before we actually get on set, which we figured out this season. The first season was like
the first season
the learning experience. It was like 25-minute scenes.
Well,
and we're like, that's not
we
gonna
kind
happen.
of forgot that there were cameras, and we would just keep going.
Yeah.
And then finally we're like, let's do this faster.
Right.
We might have to
Let's all go
this out.
home faster.
Because it's gonna take a
So
long
if you
time.
liked the first season of us rambling like idiots for 20 minutes, second season's much better.
We got better rambling.
Yeah,
better
quicker
rambling.
We can just like put it all in one quick little.
Which we're not being right now, but sorry,
Yeah.
it's okay.
And how long have you all known each other?
Well, Jody and I have known each other since we were 4 years old because we both did the same Oscar Mayer commercial. So we kind of started our careers together.
Yeah, we met over hot dogs.
We did. We met. Yeah. And then
What were you thinking?
I don't know. I just hot dogs, and I was thinking about Christine when we were sitting in traffic, and she was talking about a hot
Oh,
dog.
there's a hot dog on a corner. I'm pregnant. I'm like, can I roll my window down and get a hot dog real quick? We're not moving. Sorry, we're late.
But I can't eat.
We're late because Christine had to eat
I had to eat some.
the baby's
Hashtag pregnant problems.
And then Christine and she was actually on our show.
Yes.
So she was a pregnant teen.
And
Life imitating art, imitating life.
And Christine and I were in acting class together. I was like 12, you were about 14 or something like that.
That's
But
not age.
I know. I was why do you guys
Whatever. Yeah, but I also, Step by Step and Full House had the same producers, and when I was coming out to Los Angeles to audition, I went to the set of Full House to do a monologue where they were going to put me on tape, and the perk of that was that I got to meet the cast of Full House, which as an 11-year-old was pretty darn exciting, as you can imagine. So I have a picture of me fanning out, and my eyes are crazy. And
So I was your perk?
you were my perk. You might have been like my first like fanning out moment. So I don't know. Now I'm totally bored with you.
Yeah, I know.
Jen,
So I have to know, social media is so huge, obviously, in everyday life, and even more so like in Hollywood, it's become part of personas. So tell me, how important is it for you guys to maintain your authenticity on social media, or even just,
I think it's a huge thing. Like I love posting pictures of me without makeup because as much as I love this, I cannot do this to myself. I've tried. It has been unsuccessful. And most of we're moms. Like we don't look fabulous all the time. Like actually, I'm speaking just for myself. They always look fabulous.
Yeah,
they're always stunning.
Yeah,
they're always magical. But I think it's important kind of just to be authentic and also just show that there's another side of us. This is our job. This is what we do. We get all dolled up. But when we're at home with our families, maybe sometimes it ain't so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I have, my daughters are 10 and 7.5. And so, my older one she doesn't have any social media accounts yet, but she has like Musical.ly and stuff like that. She's, I always tell her that, what's on the outside is not the important stuff. And I'm terrible at social media. I think I just started doing Instagram stories on the strip because I don't like it. It feels narcissistic. It's weird for me. I'm not that person.
It can be fun. You can get really great things like subway rides.
We took Bev on her first subway ride.
Well, that's my first in 10 years.
Story
But I always try and I do post. I actually hate being all dressed up. I don't like wearing makeup and having my hair done. Doesn't feel like me. So most of my Instagram stuff, unless we're doing press or whatever, is just very, natural. And like you said, we're moms, so it's like, here's a picture, of my kids doing their thing, or
life gets
outside
messy.
the park or whatever.
Life gets messy.
And I think it's important. I think we do, with social media, we see so much of the heavily filtered, heavily edited, now you can Photoshop on your phone and all this stuff. Like, there's no time for that. This is life. We've got other things to do with that.
I have a 2-year-old, so very unpredictable. And there have definitely been a couple of videos where there have been bodily functions happening that I was not aware of.
Oh, that
is the best video.
But I have to give it to her. Her comedic timing was brilliant.
Yeah.
So I was very impressed by that. So I had to at least keep it on my Instagram for a while.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm watching and I'm thinking it's not really
where does this come from? Well, we also friends. We know each other, but were you friends with
Yeah,
we know each other forever.
It's and it's a very natural. What's amazing about our friendship too is like we get each other to a level that it's so different because we shared life experiences, and so we can go months without talking to each other, and the moment you put us in the room together, we are tight as tight can be. And it's just everything is so natural, it's so organic, and it's amazing to have these wonderful women who just inspire me, who make me funnier, who make me love harder, laugh harder, and live better. And so I'm very, very blessed to be able to
put
also.
that on a t-shirt, Beth.
As soon as it's coming out of my mouth, I was like,
I like to make fun of them. It's pretty easy. I'm
that's
also
what
just distracted by the fact that I'm wearing a horrendous pink wig on
I
television,
know.
but it's okay.
How cute you are.
My last question though is, how did you manage to survive Hollywood as kids? Be three normal moms sitting on the couch.
I think Hollywood gets it better. It's not as scary as you think. It's pretty normal. It's just a lot of people doing their jobs. You just hear about the really ugly stuff, but day-to-day stuff is, it's wonderful. I mean, I had an amazing experience growing up. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing it today, and I certainly wouldn't be working with the same people that I did, as a child 30 years later.
I think that says a lot, though. I mean, not everybody has maybe a great relationship with their cast, and I think all three of us, our casts
very
were like
blessed.
families to us. I know, Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Summers were just wonderful, grounded, normal people at work. There were no diva antics. There was no, throwing things and having tantrums on the set. So as a child, I viewed two people who were very successful and very humble and very caring.
Yeah.
And I don't know that everybody, unfortunately, I don't know if that's everyone's experience, but I think that says a lot for how the work relationship that we had, and also we had families behind us that were very supportive and also very grounding. Mine were anyway. And I give my parents a lot of credit for keeping me normal and giving me a normal life outside of Hollywood.
Hey guys. So you talked a little bit about how you all don't always look like this, and you're not, just.
We have a glam team back there, by the way.
Yeah.
I have to give you a
I
props.
have like 6 hair extensions on my head right now that I need to figure out. So I might do it now, I don't know.
When you're at home in normal mom mode, and you have those moments, as we all do, when you're about to lose your crap, what is like the one thing that saves you?
Oh, there's supposed to be something that saves us from doing
Oh,
that?
I
didn't know that.
You knew because I know.
Oh, no.
I lean on my husband a lot. I mean, he's my best friend. We've been together for 20 years, and so usually, I usually go out to him and make a crazy face, and then he's usually like, okay, go back to the room. I got this.
Right.
And so I could go take a moment to breathe, focus, and then I come out and I'm like, okay, I can do this. I'm a mom. I've got this. Let's do this. And so I just take a minute. So I'm very lucky to have a great partner.
But my girls and my girls are a little bit older, so there's both a blessing and a curse to that. I'm not dealing with the toddler stuff, but I'm dealing with awesome 10-year-old, 4th grade girls social nonsense. Yeah. But I have 2 incredibly strong, fierce little girls, which is great sometimes. But we like sit and chat and talk a lot and spend a lot of time together, and kids are kids sometimes, and we fight and we argue, but it's like normal. And I think sometimes we have to lower our expectation of it being perfect and okay all the time. It's not. We're raising little humans and little people, and sometimes that's messy and it's ugly and it's not pretty. But at the end of the day, my kids and I have fun together. We laugh a lot. We're silly. I embarrass them in the grocery store. I love to dance and sing in the grocery store, which my children really don't like. So I do it a lot. And it being a mom isn't easy, and it's not perfect. And it's me and my girls. But they also know when mom's like they'll push and push and push, and then they see like the face, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go to my room. So, yeah.
I mean, having a 2-year-old is a whirlwind experience, and I said the other day, like being pregnant and mothering a 2-year-old is like running a marathon underwater. It's like you're exhausted, you're moving really slow, and you feel like you might throw up sometimes. So
But you never get that time back again.
No, I never do. And so I'm glad that I'm home a lot with her. It's really, my husband and I, we don't have any other help other than a sitter every so often. My parents come in town and help, which they're there right now. thank God for grandmas and grandpas.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, I got a tribe of women that are friends, and I don't know how anyone does it without a group anymore. And this village of women, whether it's virtual or whether they're down the street, of just being able to be on a text thread and talk about stuff and laugh about stuff and say, I'm freaking out. Can anyone meet me at the park? Because I gotta get out of this house.
And we definitely enjoy our girl night dinners where we can just just have these conversations and be like, oh my God. And just like, it's that connectivity of being like, oh, you had a bad date? Me too. Okay. Oh, it's so much. And then we just laugh about it and we're like on to the next. And then we wake up next day refreshed and re-energized and take on whatever's coming our way. Yeah. We do?
All right, we have time for one more. Christine?
Yeah, so I'll be quick. So I'm here with my girl, who is, has had the acting bug since birth. And so I'm wondering, as moms and actors, what you guys, if your children ever decide this is the route they want to take, what's the one thing you would like them to know?
Get ready for a lot of no.
Yeah.
Get ready for a lot of no, and you better go into it being real secure with who you really are, because everyone's going to want to tell you who you're supposed to be, who you're not supposed to be, what you're supposed to do. And, this is a business that you have to be really grounded, because if you're successful, it can take you away from that. If you're not successful, it can take you away from that. And you have to be just incredibly grounded and secure in knowing yourself, because it's hard, and it's a business of external applause. It's a business of constantly looking for that feedback of people telling you you're great and telling you you're pretty and telling you you're all these things. But you really have to figure it out for yourself, or it will rob you of that. And make it a lot harder to figure out. And it's something that I think everybody struggles with, whether they're in entertainment or not. But this business in particular is something that can be really difficult. And like Christine said, we all were really fortunate and had these amazing families. And my parents were very normal people, and they supported me in whatever I wanted to do, and always said, like, hey, look, you don't want to do this anymore, you don't have to. And there was a period of my life that I walked away from it and didn't do it, and I come back and I'm like, yeah, this is what I really want to be doing. And my kids, my older daughter talks about wanting to be an actor all the time. I'm like, cool, you got to do a little better in math, and I got to see you really commit to it for like 6 months, because I'm not going to kill myself if you don't really want this.
Yeah. I tried that too.
It's a big commitment. It's a lot, but it's incredibly wonderful and rewarding. And like when you go out and you tell a story and you do an amazing job and you bring something to life, there's really and connect with people in a really human way, and people come back and tell you that what you did as an artist or as a performance or as a writer or dancer or actor, whatever it is, that something really touched them and made them feel something. I mean, that makes it all worth it.
Yeah, I would say, I was more of a big fish in a small pond for a very, very long time. I'm from Atlanta, and I did a lot of regional commercials, a lot of theater, and I fell into the business, like all the step-by-step stuff, like that was a fluke, that's just something that sort of happened, and it changed the direction of my life forever. And then, as an adult, I had to choose. It was a choice for me to stick with it, or whether I was going to do something else. So the longevity part is sometimes the tricky part. And I think it's why, all three of us have diversified our careers. We're producers of this show. We have different things going on, whether we're writing or I want to start to direct television. And I think, that's the nature of this business, is knowing that it can't be about fame and it can't be about money, because both of those things are fleeting. But if you really love what you do, then it will always be fun. And if it's not fun, don't do it.
Yeah. They kind of said everything.
All right, excellent. So what we'll do is, you guys get a photo, go get your photo with them, we'll kind of get you guys through there.